Hello, welcome back to school. Okay, so this is gonna be a update on pretty much everything, I think. um, I don't know when the last time I did an update. I think it's been a few months. But, so we're gonna do this in the usual order of how I have the classes are laid out. Maths, braille reading and writing, music, and organ, and that sort of stuff, and Latin. Okay, so for maths, we're finishing up with the unit 12. We've had a holiday and other stuff, meetings and things going on. Trying to build some structure. So hopefully that'll be good. Teacher wants me to not show up to class in my pajamas because I show up to class in my pajamas, but he wants me to start to think about the seriousness of everything. So he's gonna do more structure type stuff. We also talked about breaking up the class period that we have so that we have a little bit more structure with that. So I have an idea more or less of, what's gonna be done before it's done. So that was kind of like what we've been talking about. Let me see here. Also, the other thing, we are gonna try doing a month, probably 3 or 4 weeks of a subject. And this is to see if, not necessarily if the content sticks, but yeah, it is that. But it's also to have more consistency. In addition, Mondays seem to get cut short because of holiday and whatnot. So, if we do have more time, like a couple weeks or so, doing a subject, and there's a holiday in the middle of the month, we're not gonna miss out on a whole bunch of stuff like we currently do. So that's kind of how things are gonna be at. In fact, I think there's a holiday next month. A whole week we won't have class. But I'll still have assignments and flashcards and things like that. So we did go through and we've already scheduled out what we're gonna work on for classwork and what he is setting for homework. So I already have the whole next month of September planned out for arithmetic. So there really shouldn't be any surprises. So that's good. So hopefully this will work out. I remember when we were doing year 1 arithmetic and we didn't have any other subjects going on. I seem to remember a lot more consistency and I felt things were just sticking. And that was before we had the blocks. So that's some stuff that we're gonna try. So, as far as current stuff for arithmetic, let me see. This is a class book This is a class book we're working through. Graded work in arithmetic or something. I've got a zillion of these different books and they're all covering more or less the same stuff, but I like the fact that there's different varieties. Some of the books are straight up oral, and some of the books have slate work, and some of the books have slate work and oral work, And sometimes we just pull out the blocks and do stuff with the blocks and, you know, stuff like that. So that's the class book. And I don't know how many lessons we're doing, but we're doing a bunch of lessons. And this is a homework book. This book, it's kind of a hit and miss whether or not how I feel about it. I don't know. It's a lot of, I don't know. Let me see here. Let me try to find a page we're working through. Okay, so like, I think we have it where I'm doing 2 lessons a page or 2 lessons a week or something. So if I'm doing whatever lesson this is, what is that? 7? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there as an example. I'm just throwing this out there. So if I'm doing lesson 7, that's what lessons... I'm trying to get this so it works, but I don't know how to get this so it works. I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry. That's like lesson 7. And then like lesson 8, because usually it's about a page a lesson. It's all of that. Can you see it? Ow, my neck just popped. So this is all of lesson 8. I cannot tell if that's in the camera or not. I'm trying to make it fit, but I don't know. But that would be like a day, I think, of homework. I don't know. But yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing for arithmetic. For Braille reading, we did do a Braille lesson, like we wrote it out. Let me see. Okay, so this is lesson 23. I think we read this one in class already. That's lesson 23. That's 24. Okay, so this is lesson 23 and 24 of the alphaphonics in Braille. So I'm thinking, I think we read through these. Yeah, because there's times on these. So these need to go in the folder. I think we're going to be going back and doing some revision work with reading. And just to, you know, kind of get a better feel. Because we've just been working through the lesson, reading it. And then I would do a couple readings outside of class. And then we do a couple readings to kind of see where we're at. But we haven't really done like, we've just been like reading, no, we've just been seeing how long it takes to read a page. And we haven't really done like a word count, like a word per minute. And I know that's like something that people do when they're trying to figure out like how fast someone can read. And so I was looking through the files and I must have found it somewhere or wrote it down from something, I don't know. But I found a file where I had like the different grade levels and more or less how many words you should be reading to quote unquote meet that grade level or read at that grade level. So I think that'd probably be a better picture because it's actually in like a context of gradual increasing. And so because we've just been doing reading like words per page, we really don't know. I mean, we kind of have an idea, but we don't have anything to measure it against. So yeah. So this, I think this is 25. It looks like a 25 or a 26. It's hard to tell. I'm going to have to check. But this is one we brailled out. It doesn't have any reading. I don't think there's reading times on here. No. There's no reading times on here. So I'm not sure. I think we just brailled this out. I don't think we read it. But I don't know what number this is. It looks like it says 25. What do you guys think? Is that a 25 or a 26? Let me know in the comments. So that's reading. I don't know if we're going to do... I don't think we're going to do any reading this next month. I don't know. At the end of each month, we're going to have like a little, like, conference. That's what we're calling them. Conference to kind of see where things are at and planning out the next months, whether or not if we want to move on to the next subject or discuss to see what, you know, whether or not if we need more work with mathematics or something. I'm doing pretty good in that, but I haven't done like any recitations or flashcards with like the number 11 and 12, so they're not as fluent as my other numbers like 1 to 10. Even some of my higher numbers in the 1 to 10 is kind of probably getting rusty, so I might go through those just randomly on my own, but I don't know. So that's Braille reading, and as far as I know, we're going to do Braille reading in October. I think October is after September. Yeah. So that's that. The next, Braille music literacy, we are in chapter, I think it's lesson 8. There's a lesson 8 or 9. I'm not sure. I don't have... Oh, it's buried underneath all these books. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to put the Braille back in the drawer so they don't get smashed. At least if they go in the drawer, they're in a safe spot. And that drawer smells really, really good. So my Braille will come out smelling like roses. Oh. Okay, so I think we're gonna be beginning. I think we will be starting chapter 9 when we do Braille music literacy. We've already covered, in as far as this chunk of a book goes, we've covered the pitches. B, A, I don't think we've covered G yet. It's just B and A, and we've covered the semibreve, the minim, the crotchet, and the quaver. So, that's pretty much what we've been doing. We have a little flashcard made up. I don't know where I stuck them. I think they're in the drawer back there. I'd like to go through and like make little cuts on one of the corners, because if you get your notes flipped around, you really don't know what you're reading. It's like it could be a completely different note. So, I need to do that. So that is more or less music reading. This book moves very, 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 very slow. But teacher is getting a hang of note reading, but we're making our way through it. So, let me see here. The other musical stuff. We haven't done much in the realm of what we're calling applied piano with, like, technique. We started... Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. We started reading through this book. What are they called? Fundamentals of Piano Technique, a Russian method, or the Russian method. We started going through this, reading through it, And, you know, he would kind of describe the picture and the text reading, and I would just basically sit at the clavier and do what what he's having me to do. And he would like make it so that my hands, let me get this put back up here. I found my music flashcards. He would make it so that my body was in the same position as what the photo showed. And then like he would ask, you know, whether or not if there's tension or, you know, any of that other stuff. And a lot of times there wouldn't be. And I'd like play, you know, chords or whatever the old way, and then I'd play it with this new structured thing. And yeah, he could notice a sound difference, and I could notice a sound difference, and just how it feels in the body. Since we haven't done that in like forever, we might have to start, maybe not go all the way back to square one, but we might have to review some of that stuff in a sense of, do you remember how to sit up at the piano? Do you remember what your wrist position is? That sort of stuff. So these are my flashcards for music. Let me pull out one. Let's see. Yeah, already I'm having a difficult time reading this because I don't know how it's supposed to lay on the thing. On top of that, it's way off the page. So this is probably a semi-breve B. Let me show you that. If I'm reading that correctly. I don't even know if you guys can see it. But that's the flashcards. I really wish this thing came with flashcards. Like, I get it. Making out your own flashcards is beneficial and all that other stuff, but it really slows things down a lot. And we don't have like all the time in the world to make out flashcards. So that is kind of where we're at with teachers' area of things. I don't know. I know during Music Month in November, there's a lot of holidays. So that'll be interesting to see how that happens. Also, and I think in December, there's a bunch of holiday too. So it'll be interesting to see how this works. So that is kind of where things are at. I am working on liturgy music for organ at the request of Magister. So he gave me a couple assignments to work on out of the hymn book. I don't have a copy of it. I've got the organ book out way over on the back corner here. Let me see if I could find that. Like way over there at the organ or the clavier. There's my organ copy is back there for the liturgy. So I'm working through that. I am at the point, I think it's about midway through the service. So I'm at the point where the gospel is being read. There's a thing where the minister will say, the Old Testament reading is this and the epistle reading is this. And I don't know if they do it before or after, but they, when they get to the gospel, they have a little chanty thing where the people sing, what is it? Praise to you, O Christ, or thanks to you, O Lord. I mean, there's two of them. One of them ends with Christ, and the other one ends with Lord. And I don't know if they're both like praise to you, but I don't know. I gotta look at that. I'm actually kind of like floored at how much detail is put into this stuff. Like, if you're just like a average person that just goes to a worship place, a church building, or wherever, um and you don't really like, oh well, this is what we do, this is, but like when you're like having to learn something really detailed, like the liturgy music, you really kind of get up close and personal and think, oh my gosh, who was sitting around, I don't say banging rocks together, but that's kind of what it sounds like. They had nothing better to do, so they're like, oh, let's just do a Gloria in Excelsis here. Let's do the Gloria Patri after the introit, and let's have the psalm verse here, and let's have, all the verses here. Oh yeah, we could put an antiphon so the congregation can sing. And then we can have a cute little saying here before the gospel. And ooh, when we get to the supper, we could have like an Agnus Dei and a Sanctus and a Benedictus. I mean, it's just amazing how much stuff goes into the service. I never really paid attention to all the detail that this thing has. I kind of knew, okay, we have the Gloria Patri, then we go into the Kyrie, then the Gloria in Excelsis, then there's the thing where we say, and with thy spirit. I mean, of course, now I know that's called the salutation, which probably comes from a Latin word, salve or salvete, I don't know. So yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that I'm learning just by the sheer learning of the liturgy. And I did have one of my subscribers in Germany, his name is Alex. He had actually requested that I do teaching videos for teaching how to play this stuff. He's asking about an overhead camera on one of the videos, and it's like, I don't have that capability, and I don't even have the space to set it up, even if I did have the capability. The area where I do a lot of my organ work at the organ, it's very, very tight. It's very, very tight. There's not a lot of wiggle room to, set up tripods and all that stuff that people with more space can do. But I did tell him I'm going to try to pull something together. So I'm going to plan on that when I have a little bit more time. I should probably make a list of videos that he has requested. He's requested a couple of them. He wants to know more about the lyric reader that I have. He wants to know about the music I'm playing, how to play it. He likes to play that kind of stuff. So I don't know. So that's just kind of stuff that I'm thinking on, and I don't mean to put him off, but it's just trying to figure out when and where to put everything, because yeah, my day's already pretty full. So that is kind of where we're at with organ. I think the first half of the liturgy is almost done. Today I was practicing, and I was like really, really tired. I don't know why, but I was really, really tired. But tomorrow I don't practice, so that'll kind of be a nice reprieve. Because I think I've been practicing every day this week. I'm not keeping count, but that's a pretty good run, but it's a lot of work. So then Sunday, I'm hoping to review the section of the what do they call it? The gospel. Review that, and then I was listening to a recording of the recording of the service, and the next section, if I went forward, would be the Nunc Dimittis. No, it's not the Nunc Dimittis. It is the offertory, which is create in me a clean heart, but it's just called the offertory. I don't know how you'd say that in Latin, but it's all done in English. But it's offertory, creating me a clean heart. Oh God. And then there's all the music for the Eucharist, Lord's Supper, Holy Communion. It goes by a lot of names. So, yes, I just take it one phrase, one measure at a time, one note at a time. So that's kind of what that is. I've also been kind of delving into a little bit of other hymn type stuff, if I can call it that. I'm going through storage, organizing and labeling boxes and things, and just getting things organized in that realm. And I have a list of organ music that I think would be really great to learn. And one of them is the Wilcox. What is it? The Wilcox Adeste Fidelis, O Come All Ye Faithful. I looked at the hymn book, and I think there's 4 verses, and it's in the same key, so that's good. The only thing, well, I think the harmony is for the most part the same, at least for the first 2 verses, and then it goes into the choir descant, but I think the congregation just sings on melody. And then for the last verse, when the organ goes up the wazoo, everyone's singing unison, because the organist is doing like notes that don't traditionally belong in the tune, which I'm still kind of getting my ears wrapped around just when I was kind of messing around with it today. But that was kind of fun. It gave me something different to look at and kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I've always, oh my gosh, I've sang this so many times. And I've always wanted to learn how to play the organ part, because it just sounds so cool. So that's kind of what I'm working on for piano, keyboard, organ type stuff. Let's see. The last section is Latin. We haven't had Latin for the past several weeks because we've had Latin holiday, which is good because when we left, I had a whole bunch of like old verb stuff and assignments, and I don't have as much, but I still have quite a bit. So to kind of get an update on that, I have, these are like, they're called, like, I call them verb tables. These are actually from first form Latin when we were working through that book. So these are verbs that, because I like the repetition of stuff, I filled out the rest of the verb tables that I didn't do when I should have done them. And I went through and I did all the translation work. And these are not dated because they were just kind of worked on, so like just in parts and pieces and all over the place. But I did officially finished these on August 2nd. So that's good. These are done. I actually just sent them in for marking. I don't even know if that's a word, but Magister, he can look at them over holiday or the weekend or whatever. But these are done. I'm going to file these in my lingua latina, not my lingua latina, but my other first form Latin binder. I'm going to do that. The other thing I've been working through are, let me see here. Are you guys on them? I don't know. Yeah, no, yeah, no. Shoot, I don't know where they are. Is this them? No, those are old, they're not old tables, but they're tables. I don't know what I did with the rest of my homework. Well, that's not good. Oh, that's right. So yesterday, I went through and I organized all of my Latin papers and all of my choir music, which is why my practicing was so short. So I went through and organized everything and made it nice and neat. I have to punch pages and stuff, but in general, I think I've got pages in here. So somewhere in here, that's not it. That's Unos, Dos, Tres. Gosh, I love that book. Yeah, this is it. These are tables. These are verbs I had requested, like when we were doing, again, this is when we were doing first form Latin. I had requested a handful of verbs, and I didn't tell him how many I wanted, but he gave me 15. So these are tables I've been working on. I got a couple of them done. Let me check and see if I could find those. Okay, so these ones are done. This is actually how I'm turning in my homework now. Whatever verb this is. Oh, sum essa. So I basically wrote out the Latin and then I wrote out the English. Now, the interesting thing about this table is instead of having it first, second, third in the present system, your singular, your plural, and then first, second, third in the imperfect system, singular, plural. This is actually set up by people. So this is all first person, and these are all the different tenses. This is all second person singular, and these are all the tenses, and that's how that works. It's just another way to, for me to think about the verbs. And it's actually kind of nice. It kind of gives my brain a little bit of a challenge. But yeah. So these ones are already done. And I think I did them correctly. I was working on them. I've been working on them during whenever I can. And I did find out that I was mistranslating the imperfect. I was saying I washed, I washed whatever, and I was really unsure because I just wasn't sure. And it turns out it's supposed to be I was washing. I don't know exactly why. He did explain it very briefly, but I don't know why. I think going through those tenses again would probably be a good thing when we get together. So I've completed sum essa. I've completed juvo, juvare. I've completed Pretu perturbo. Oh my gosh, I can never say this word. Perturbo. And those are the only ones I've done. So back to the desk. Okay, so these are the Latin other verbs that I was given. The Latin is done. Like, I completed all the Latin fine on these. I wrote out like a more or less like a table. If I have it, I will try to post it, but I don't know if I may have deleted it or not. I don't know. I may have deleted it, but I don't know. If I can find it, I'll insert it. But the English, I'm still working on the English translations on all of these. And the ones that I have started, I have to go back and fix my, what do they call it? The imperfect tense, because those are wrong. And on culpo, culpare, I think that's the verb. I misspelled the word C's. So I want to try to get that spelled right. I learned that on just a couple days ago. So these are still in the works. I'm gonna plop those there. So I'm hoping that that can get done like quickly. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. I think it needs to go in the binder. Let me see here. There's some other stuff in here. Okay, so the other stuff in here, I should probably go through and review the vocabulary and the lingua angelica recitation work that we were working through. The ones with the Agnus Dei, the, what does it call it? The Dona Nobis Pacem, the Crux, or the Crux Signus, I don't know, however you say sign in Latin. The one where you say, in nomine Patris et Filio et Spiritui Sancto. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. And then the one that I can never memorize, I don't know. There's always like a part of it that I always forget. Like, I totally dropped something and I don't know what it is. I think I get the crux, the sign of the cross or the invocation screwed up with the Gloria Patri. So those are ones that I just totally get messed up. We're in the middle of the Lord's Prayer, or the Pater Noster. Let me see if I could pull that up. Okay, so I think I have these in kind of an order. Let me zoom in on this so we can see the title. Okay, so the Dona Nobis Pacem is like done. I could do that one really well. Christus Vincit is done. I have that done really well. Actually, there's a piece of choir music I ran across recently, and it's just been running through my head. And it has those words. Here, the Signum Crucis. This is the one that I kind of get stumbled over. Like, there's one of these middle phrases I kind of drop, and then of course I still mess up on the ending of Patris or Patri. Here's the Gloria Patri. This one, I don't know. It's kind of a hit and miss. Is this the one that I forget? The sicut erat in principio. I think this is the one I forget, the sicut erat. I think I forget that one. So yeah, and then the Agnus Dei I think is good. I think the only thing I forget is the Dona Nobis Pacem at the end, because I'm not singing it, so it's really weird to say that, but that does get tacked on at the end. The Pater Noster, we got the first part pretty much down. I really wish they took this phrase here, Adveniat Regnum Tuum, and put that on the second page, because literally this is like right in the middle of a thought or a sentence, which is kind of dumb. This is a section I've been, off and on trying to recite, get back in my tongue. It's still a work in progress. This one we haven't yet gone through. And then the other part of, I think there's 4 parts to the Gloria Patri. We haven't even started those. So we're basically taking this and we're kind of chopping it up, because it's just taken me forever to memorize all this stuff. Part of it is I just don't have discipline to sit down and recite it 100 zillion times like I should, like I know I need to. What is this? Oh, this is this. Oh gosh, the stupid table blessing. Yeah. So we kind of went through and broke this up too. This is gonna need a little TLC. I have no stickies in my head to stick this onto. So it's like I'm trying to put this up on a wall, and the nail is just not sticking. It's not going in. So I have no clue how to get this. I think there's a video I found where some guys reciting it 10 times in a row. I'm thinking 10 times, that's not enough. I need it like a lot more times. So yeah, this is probably the hardest one that I've had difficulty with. And that's only because I've got nothing to relate it to. I've never said the prayer in English, so I don't even have that. Let me see here. Birthday parties. That's like the only time they do it at the church where the choir I sing in. Let's see. Okay, so these are the ones we haven't yet done. No, these are grammar pages, I think. I don't know. Either way, I don't know where I put the other ones. I think they're around here somewhere, but these are the ones we're working through. These are the ones I need to kind of keep in my head. And especially these back ones, I need to do more recitation with these, because I don't do enough recitation. I need to do more recitation. So that is the Lingua Angelica progress. Going into the written work for what is this called? Lingua Latina? Is that the right chapter? I don't know what chapter that is. I don't think it's the right chapter. There's still some pages that I'm needing to finish in chapter 4. That's chapter 3. Okay, here's chapter 4. So there's still some stuff that I need to finish in this chapter. And I'll be dipped if I know which ones they are. I think it's this one because this is blank. Hold on. That's the actual reading. Let me see here. I have no clue what this is. Okay, all of that is done. Yay. I know there is some stuff that I didn't know how to do in this. Was it this one? I don't know. It may have been this one. This one doesn't have any marks in it, so it's probably this one. Oh, there's some stuff written on the back page. Okay, I think it's this top one. So the top one, I do remember we went through this in class. We did a couple of them on the board. So I still have those. There should be no reason that I can't get those done. Although now it's been 4 weeks since I've looked at it, so we might have to review it again. Tux. And I think there's another thing on here that was kind of wonky too. Let me see. There was that one. I thought there was another one at the bottom of one of these pages. I don't know. Was it this one? I don't know. There's another one in here that I just don't know. And then, so that's chapter 4. And then chapter 5, I need to look at that again and pretty much do the whole thing, because I don't think I've done anything in chapter 5. Let's see, that's a reading. I don't even remember what it was about. Was that when the guy was found in that place? I think they found somebody in the place. I don't want to give it away if someone like comes across this like years later. Yeah, I think that was when they found that guy in the place. Oh wait, I did start some of this. Oh yeah, this is the one that has a whole bunch of errors in it. So I basically have to redo the whole thing. Let's go. I don't know if I went through this with you guys. Yeah. So, I'm not exactly sure what this is covering, but all the ones that are circled are somehow wrong. Like, endings were wrong. Let's see. There's a red mark there. There's a red mark after the us. I think that's supposed to be unum and not. Oh, I probably just didn't mark the rest of my M. Which I think he had said that. Oh, the unus was wrong. That should have been unum. Unus, I think that should be unum. I think a lot of these should have been unum, and I wrote down us. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's getting to a point where I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I seriously don't know what I'm doing. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't be stressing too much over, like, really mastering this stuff. But I'm hoping to at least kind of get a general idea. And if I'm getting more than half of my things wrong, it probably says that I have no clue what I'm doing. Because I have no doubts most of this stuff is probably going to be covered in one of the form books. I'm pretty sure. The thing that's really wonky about Lingua Latina is the grammar is all over the place. So they've got these, like when they introduce a verb, it's only introduced in the third person singular. Yeah. So you don't really have a whole concept of conjugations until much, much later, from what it sounds like. So that is that. It looks like there's some pages there that I tried to do too. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to have to take some time and probably look at this over. Holiday at some point. Yeah, this is just really, really sketchy. There are, I don't know if this is it. Yeah, so there's, I call them, no, these are the verbs. Where are the tables? I've got tables, and I don't know where I did with my tables. Let me look for my tables. Okay, so I found my tables. I just had to turn a couple more pages. So these are, I have them broken up into like general tables and grammar tables. I've got grammar tables in the front, and then I've got general tables for like just general vocab words. So basically, as I am going through this, I am marking out the different verbs, and I'm basically filling in the tables as we learn the topic. So, for example, all I know is est and sum. Technically, I know more than that, but in this lingua latina, I only know est and sum. And these are, let's see, I thought there was another verb, but I guess not. I guess that might be the only verb I know, is est and sum. Then I have a whole lot of grammar tables here. So these are nouns, like they're words that are grammar terms, like verb and, oh, that's the only one that's on this page. Oh, I've got this one here because I could fill out the rest of the table. Let's turn a page. Okay, so I've got like verb, chapter, capitulum, and then I've got exemplum, and I wrote down its genitive. No, that's the genitive, and that is the gender. So I think there's like 3 verbs. Let me move that out so you can see more. So there's like 3 verbs per page here, and I'm basically filling out the ones as we're learning these different cases, like the nominative and the genitive and the ablative. That's not ablative, that's accusative. I'm filling out these tables for these different cases so that I get really good at getting these endings down. The only thing that's tricky is when I come across stuff that we haven't officially covered, like liber. I don't know how to write that one out because it's a word, it's second declension masculine, but I don't know how to decline it because the form book doesn't cover, I don't think that is covered in first form. I'm thinking I have to wait till probably second form for that. But I've got a couple that are just kind of, I don't know how to write them in. So after all the grammar nouns, if that makes any sense, I have the various adjectives. Let's see here if I can find. That's more nouns. Yeah, vocabulum. Magister finds it funny that I'm learning vocabulary words, grammar words in Latin. It's like, that's way beyond what I want you to do. It's like, yeah, but it helps me learn. So here we have the, what are they called? Adjectives. And yes, even these are written out in Latin. So these are the personal pronouns. And again, as we learn them or come across them, I fill out the table. We haven't done anything with this bottom part, but I'm sure we might get to that part later, if we decide to fill that in. These are just the form drills from first form Latin. So I am using them like no man's business. And then more, this is second person singular. And then third person. No, what is this? Pronomen personality. This is personal pronouns. So like me, my, or actually I think it's just me. And then second person, the, te, t. I don't know why this was not filled in. Maybe we haven't covered it yet. This is when it gets a little exciting. There was I think it's chapter 5 that covers this. And it's like, whoa, there's way too many words. Magister can just kind of get these by looking at the endings, but I don't, like, I kind of see them, but I don't see them always. So this is just another fun thing that I'm kind of filling out just to kind of see what's going on. Obviously, everything is filled out, but the dative case, which is kind of weird. And I think this is one of the last things that we worked on in July, near the end of July. I think this is what we worked on. Because I remember we did a lot of work with that, and I think we did a lot of work with the quid, I can't read that. Qui, qui, quod. That's what it is. So there's a bunch of these things, that I'm filling out as we learn them. And I don't know if these are declinable, but I'm not sure. I just left them blank for now. And these are, what are these? Okay, these are general verbs. So, adest. So, yeah, that's a verb, I guess. It means to be absent, I believe. Abest. No, adest means to like be present. Adest is to be absent. I always get those mixed up. I should probably put a translation up there. But these are the different verbs. I don't know if this is done yet for chapter 4 and 5. I need to double check and see because I'm kind of lost on these. So these are just nouns. Filling out these things here. Let's see, there's nothing on that one. What is this? Okay, so these are still verbs. There's a lot of verbs in this. And this covers like first, second, and fourth declensions. Yeah. So they don't like wait. And you're supposed to pick this all up by reading, which I kind of get it, but I don't know if you can learn grammar from reading. It kind of takes a while. Okay, so then here are the nouns for the general category. What is it? Pecunia? Oh, that's money. Okay, so this must have been from chapter 3. So there's a bunch of nouns, and again, just filling out what I know. Yeah, puer. I don't know how to fill that one out because, yeah, it's one that we haven't really covered. Sure enough, you get pater, mater. Let's see. This is, what is this? Saculus. This is like a money bag or a little purse, change purse. So these are basically all the things I've filled out, which I'm going to have to go through these and see how many of these I need to finish writing up. Because I'm thinking if the grammar ones, if we've filled out like all of them except the genitive or dative, these probably should be filled out the rest of the way too. But again, I'm going to have to go through all these papers and do like a major review. I'd actually not, I was really debating on this, but I don't think I can because I need to work with the dude that's going to be accompanying. So I'm going to be singing a solo in a couple weeks at my friend's church building, and is supposed to be earlier this month, like at the beginning of the month. Well, that didn't happen. So it's near, I think it's like the second week of September. So I need to work with the accompanist, the guy that plays the piano better than I do. I'm going to be working with him. Otherwise, I would stay and work on this Latin stuff and get it organized. Let me see here. Sundays are usually busy. I mean, I go and I practice, and then I listen to the sermon, and then I come back here, and by then it's like I'm pooped. I don't know. But either way, I will have to find some time to work on that stuff and get it up to date. But in the meantime, the chalkboard has been erased for the most part. Let me show you guys the chalkboard. I wanted to start after summer with, for the most part, a clean slate. So this is all the Latin stuff that I wrote down from the board. That's choir stuff that I'm needing for a concert. And then, like, I've got some other stuff on the side, but I don't want to show you guys yet. So, well, I'm not going to show you guys the side yet. But in general, the board is washed, erased, and clean. How do I say that in Latin? Tablet. I'm not even gonna try. Tablo. I don't deleo. No, that's I delete or something. That's like the only form of to erase I know from unus, duo, tres. But either way, tableto, I don't even know. Is it tableto? Tablet? I have no idea. Either way, the board is clean. We're gonna have a nice clean board for arithmetic and Latin, and whatever else we need the board for, because for the longest time it's had old Latin stuff on it. But I wrote it all over here. I need to verify to see what is legit and what needs to be erased, but I'm pretty sure all that stuff is legit. I still have First Form Chapter 13 from the workbook. I still have extra work from, not extra, but incomplete work for chapters 4 and 5. Let's see here. Vocab, I think that's flashcards or something. I don't know. Drill Form B, that's the one I'm working on right now. English. Oh, that's fixing, writing out the English side. And then reviewing the vocabulary and the grammar. That's gonna be a hot mess in that department. I'm trying to get like this stuff done like the easiest to the hardest. But yeah. So that is kind of where things are at right now with Latin, organ, music, braille reading and writing, and mathematical stuff. So I am going to let me see here. I'm really tired. I need to do more. I want to get more Latin stuff done, but I'm just really tired. I need to get my organ stuff uploaded for you guys, and then we'll upload the updates, and I'll probably be sleeping by the time that is uploaded, but we'll see. Either or, that is pretty much an update on everything. Sorry for being so talkative, but I just have no one to talk to right now. So I'll talk with you guys later. It won't turn off. How do I get it to turn off? Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget, ring the notification bell for all notifications.